Hey there, friends. You find me finally starting my Planet Zoo stream. I accidentally am loading Bolo Bolo, though. I clicked the wrong save and I'm loading Bolo Bolo. But I believe it's loaded now. So yeah, this is Bolo Bolo. This is not what we're going to be building in today. Although I really should finish this, right, guys? I should absolutely get to finishing this zoo once and for all. We're actually so close, but you know, I need to be in the right mindset to finish this crazy little thing. So we are going to load the correct save, which is this one. So just another loading screen there for you. Hey there, Lisa. Hey there, Elephant Puppet. Welcome to the stream. A late one for me. Yesterday I was feeling a bit under the weather. Today I was watching the semi-final of the Women's European Championship, where Spain beat Germany in an exciting game. You know, I'm a football guy. Competitive football is just so much fun to follow, even if you have no stake in it. And yeah, women's football has really become so exciting to follow. I've been following that tournament. It's a lot of fun. Though my heart still belongs to, for example, next summer we have the Men's Football World Cup, which is the biggest sporting event in the world. And I can't wait for it. Although I don't know about you guys, but I like football, but I don't enjoy football when I'm actually supporting a team. Then I'm just nervous and anxious and in a bad mood. But when I'm a neutral viewer, it's more fun. But when my team is actually playing, whew, the stress is too much. Anyway, guys, what have you missed? Well, quite a bit actually. We started building this sort of Mesoamerican pyramid, which is not finished, as you can tell. It has doesn't have that iconic building on top. And sort of building up the surroundings with jungle. We have some holes in here that need to be filled. But more importantly, this underground tunnel here is finished, and we have 80% of the Ocelot habitat ready, as you can see. This will look much different when it's done. For starters, this area that you're looking at right now, all of this will be underground, under a temple complex type of thing. And this will be another one of those, hallways like this. There will be a big glass window, and the ocelots still need some sort of climbing. But honestly, a part of me wishes I could keep it like this. But realistically, you need to offer these guys some climbing at least. But I'm very pleased with how this turned out, this habitat. Yeah, I've done a lot. And let me tell you guys, building this pyramid out of these pieces, it was more challenging than you think it is. But I even made it more difficult for myself by adding these annoying gaps, which I need to figure out how to fill. So I need to have a climbing structure. I need to cover all of this up and make sure that there's sort of a second entrance here. My thoughts were for today to sort of start covering this up, this area, and maybe build one of those iconic, I believe, Aztec temples on top. Thank you for the compliments. Yeah, I'm really pleased with this. Honestly, the only secret here is just spamming plants. There is a whole lot of plants in here. Even dropped a frame per second. But, guys, I have a bit of an issue. This is something I didn't plan ahead, but when this whole area will be covered, this habitat will actually be in permanent shadow, and it will lose a lot of its beauty. That's just a sad fact of me not planning ahead for it. Even if I put it here at this side, there still would be no sun available. So it's going to look more like this, which still is nice, but you know, that just goes to show you that planning ahead is of importance, because this looks so much better. I hope you agree. Anyway, let's just get to it. We're going to, first of all, make a separate save for a reason that I'll explain in a bit. A separate save called Tierra, Encantada, Ocelot thumbnail. That is because, you know, a bit opportunistic perhaps, but when I take the thumbnail picture for this habitat, I want it to be unblocked by both the sun and the viewing window that is here. So I'm making a separate save where I can get some majestic pictures before I actually ruin this build with adding shadow to it. A trick I picked up from Planet Zoo Discord, actually, that you can sort of cheat with your thumbnails. You can sort of remove things that actually are part of your habitat just to get a better lighting. So, number one is going to be adding the glass window back that I deleted. Instead of storing it somewhere, I actually deleted it, so I will put it back, and then we're going to cover this room up with stone here-ish, and then we'll just have to think what we build on top of this. A second pyramid is an option, but I'm not sure yet. We'll have to, maybe we can decide that together. Obviously this habitat will not be finished today, but I'm hoping to have it ready by this Sunday. So let's just go back to that glass I used last time around and start adding it back. In the meantime, how has your day been? How has your week been? My partner, girlfriend partner, started working again out of maternity leave, but I, as a teacher, obviously still have my summer vacation, so I've been a stay-at-home dad. Is there a gap here? There is. We'll need to fix that. We'll fix it here, where the problem first occurred. So I've been staying at home with the baby. Who is, of course, both adorable and also making my life difficult. But yeah, it's been a tale of heating up bottles and trying to keep your cool while the baby is crying, which is the biggest challenge, I believe, as a dad. Honestly, like when you're a mom, you do a lot of the work, obviously, and I'll respect my partner forever. But the solution for a lot of the baby's problems is literally your existence. Right? You exist, and because of that, you can help the baby out. As a dad, you need to make sure that the bottle is ready, and while the bottle is heating up, or the child is still crying. But I love him. He's a wonderful boy. Obviously, really reminds me of his sister, which is logical, but still really fun to notice when you're interacting with him and you see those glimpses of your other kid. All right. All right. that Lisa's been playing Planet Zoo for most of the day. You love to see it. And yeah, it is difficult, for sure. But, as we all know, also rewarding. Yesterday, my 2.5-year-old told me that I'm a nice father. She said, "You're so nice to me," she said. Of course, she said it in Dutch, but she just said it like, "Oh, you're so nice to me. You're a nice dad." And I'm like, "Ah, that's exactly the type of compliment I needed to hear today." All right, it's that simple. And then we're going to go right ahead and add this trim to the top as well. Oh. We are going to... Actually, no, we're not going to flip it around. We're going to put it here. And put it here. Right. So, we're just going to grab a couple of these and start creating the ceiling out of this. I didn't plan a nice ceiling for this building, truth be said. So I hope when you visit this zoo eventually, you don't really look up in this specific part of the experience, because there's nothing to see. All I really want is for this room to be filled up. Because it's all meant to be sort of an underground temple experience. Perhaps I will, right before finishing this build up, I will maybe go back and add something to it, but at this point I'm not inclined to do that. I'm going to be honest. I see I already have left a gap here. I shall have to fix that. I feel like I'm making this more difficult for me than it should. What if I move the pyramid up for a bit? There. Let's group this up as well, so we can work a bit faster. Right. I will admit it loses a lot of its beauty this way, but it was... In my mind, this would be sunlit the whole time, but the Planet Zoo lighting doesn't really... Because even the temple, I feel, is going to be blocked if I put anything here. The temple itself will be. But I'm considering, and I don't know if this will work. Yeah, the ceiling. Like... I'm not good as it is in buildings, but making a ceiling is like, ooh. What if we add like those stadium lights and we hide them? Make them really bright. Does that actually have an effect? It sort of does, but not in the nice way you would expect, really. It brightens it up a bit, but not like... doesn't really add shadow, which is what makes a Planet Zoo build beautiful, really. Shadow. So, I might do that, but the truth remains is that I sort of ruined it for myself. But that's fine. I'm still very pleased with Tierra Encantada. It's the most planning ahead I've ever done for a zoo, really. And I feel like it paid off in the end. In fact, I got a compliment on a video about Tierra Encantada from a while back from someone who said, I'm from South America and it's nice to see a builder representing our continent so well. I mean, not to give myself a compliment, but I'm like, thank you. That was the goal, to not go for this stereotypical Amazon build only, or just throw jungle plants, but to try some different styles and biomes. That was the goal. This is not right. Nope, I don't want this. Nope, I don't want this either. Go away. Nope, I don't want you. Okay, we'll live with it. When your zoo is relatively small, you can afford to sort of double up on pieces at times. All right. I'm kind of thinking this looks cool, to have this open, to be an opening into the temple. Why don't we just take care of that right now? So obviously we'll need to continuing this pattern. Maybe even here all around. But I would love for this to actually be an open sort of viewing window into the jungle. So I think I'm going to go right ahead and arrange that. How it will look eventually, I don't know yet, because we are going to place things on top of here. But at this moment, it looks really nice. Grab some of this trim. Oh, that's way too big. We don't need all of this, obviously. Alright, I don't know what I'm doing here really. You don't need to be this high. Okay, then obviously this needs to be beautified a bit, because now since guests can actually see this, we need to make sure it looks a bit more realistic. So I'm just going to add many more rocks, and we're going to add a lot of plants here to make sure it actually looks better and connected to the ground below. So for this, I guess we're going to just be spamming a whole bunch of plants, starting at the bottom with the periwinkle. the flowered version, why not? And have it grow all over these rocks. And also have some sort of intruding into the temple ground itself, like it is here. And then we're gonna grab that one moss bit with the flowers and also place it here to really make it look like this ground is covered in moss, and maybe, you know, have some, maybe a smaller bit. And those leaves, what are they called? The litter. Feels like it makes sense here too. Add some outside as well. Okay, that's a start, but I feel like we need some color, or let's see what kind of grab some inspiration from here. Let's put some big old king ferns here as well. I feel like I need to put one like straight. It's actually too big. We're gonna go with the silver fern, which I know is not from South America, neither are some other plants, but it's just such a nice fern, isn't it? Do 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 do. All right. Still need to hide all of that. All of that needs to be hidden, I just realized. Because you can see up to there as a guest. On this side, we're good, right? We're covered. But on this side, up until this thing. Oh, that's, yeah. We need to cover all of that with actual tropical. We can try to do it either with plants. That's always an option, right? If we take some of, you know, like take this tree and sink it down, we could just try and hide the rocks like this. We can give that a try, see what it feels like. I mean, it's not bad, although it's a bit too uniform. We need to add some differences in height here. And for that, I feel we can use some of those palms. This is a very strange area at this moment. We'll have to make sure this transition works in the end. That's something that I'll do right before Tierra Encantada is done. That this weird area actually makes sense, because this is the exit of the park. But technically you could enter the park via here, and then the transition is kind of abrupt. We'll need to do a little bit of a thinking operation for that. But yeah, that's not too bad at all, I think. And then we're going to complete our construction here by adding these. And these as well, and then we'll work on the stairs later. I can't say, guys, that I'm planning on a very long stream, but I feel like I owe you one for, you know, postponing yesterday's one. It's kind of weird because I was feeling pretty bad, and then the moment I cancelled it I felt better, but then it was already so late that I had better go to sleep. But alright, I'm feeling it. Ugh, that's bad. Actually, it just occurred to me, why did I do it with that when I could have done it with this? Oh, that's... ugh. I shouldn't have looked at that at all. Anyway, don't look at the ceiling. That's the title of the episode. I built an Ocelot habitat. Don't look at the ceiling. Okay. What could make this look even better? What could finish the job? I feel like it needs something. Even like just like a mist effect or something. What if we put like some special effects like mist in here? Mist small, mist large, mist huge. What does a mist small do over here? If you put it like here. I don't see a thing. I guess you need to place it on top of a... I don't know. I mean, yeah. Actually, I enjoy this kind of look. Let's add 2 more, and then add some South American tree ferns all over here. That is definitely a vibe. Almost makes me want to place these mist effects all over my jungle. Actually, now that I am looking at it, it's kind of really cool. Might add more atmosphere than I'm. If I put it like underwater here, what does that do for the look of things? Something to think about when I finish up the zoo, like the final touches before I'm complete the build. All right. Do we still need the pyramid up? We don't really. So you can come back down, my friend. We will lower the pyramid to its rightful place. Now, I have done a bit of research, and the civilizations of the Americas didn't just build pyramids. They actually built pretty regular, like temple structures with columns and everything. So my thought was to just have a rectangular column-esque building on top of that there. So I think I'm not going to build a second pyramid, but we are going to go straight on top here. And let's actually have a blueprint for inspiration. The South America DLC was, if I remember correctly, the very first one. So its blueprints are a bit more like what's the word I'm looking for? They're less refined than a lot of Frontier's later work. But like this building, isn't this building kind of the thing I'm trying to go for? I could just be lazy and put this on top of here. You know, wouldn't look out of place. Like, that's actually pretty nice if we remove the butterfly. And there's a bit more stuff on here. Is this fine if I just use this blueprint? I don't know. I don't think I'm able to do this because these are individual blocks, right? I think I'm actually going to just stick with this and give all the credit to whoever at Frontier programmed that, because that's just fine for me. Right? I hope you agree. That works for me. That absolutely does the job. Absolutely does the job. Yeah. Could place it a bit more centrally, perhaps. It's a bit too big, perhaps, but this absolutely does the job for me. And I think if we're going to do a quick run through the zoo, I feel like at times you'll get a glimpse at it. This will look very different in the end. Still haven't completed the murals here. Still have 4 of them to go. But can you see the pyramid from other places? Because I've tried to hide a lot of the things that are coming. But if you really want to, I think you can see what's coming ahead here, perhaps. Down here. I've done a pretty good job at hiding it, but I feel like it's peeking over the mountain at this moment. It's pretty well hidden. If you don't know what you're looking for, you cannot see it yet. However, this is my main concern. Can you see it from over here? You can, but just a bit. Just a tiny bit. And I don't think you're really looking for it. And then obviously when you emerge from this tunnel, you can, you are free to look at it. And then it appears from the jungle, and then you're supposed to look at it. And I think that really works out well. Yeah, I like this a lot. That is a vibe. And then the last time you really need to see it is right before you... Right over here, right before you enter its depths. You get a good look at it. Right here. And then you sort of walk underneath it. And I think that works out well. Then you get this, which will have a climbing frame. Just keeping that for last. And then right over here, after this rare glimpse outside, we'll need to fix that. You are outside again. So I feel like we did a nice job here. Yep, Lisa agrees. Thank you so much. I'm glad that it works for you as well. By the way, for anyone who's watching, which isn't a huge number, but that's fine, I'm also doing this for myself. I just announced officially the Yelbu's backlog streams, if you haven't seen the video yet. Simply meaning that hopefully every week I'm going to stream me playing another game from my pretty sizable Steam library backlog. I have too many games that I bought not impulsively, but just sort of expecting me to have more time than I truly have at this point. So I have a lot of games laying around that are kind of a shame because I spent actual money on them. And not like crazy amounts, but still money was spent. And I want to stream those games. We're probably not going to necessarily finish all of them, because chances are that I don't like some of them, that I bought something and it turns out to be a bit of a dud, but then at least we discovered that together. And it's a way of keeping myself accountable, you know, and sort of owning up to the fact that I spent money on something and that I shouldn't just, you know, have it laying around digitally in my library. So if that's your thing, if you're into that, next Tuesday I will stream for the very first time another game here, and it's going to be Halo 2. Ironically, Halo 2 is not really part of my backlog because it's part of a gaming collection which I already played, so I already played that product, the Master Chief Collection, but I'm going to try and play games that are like 10 to 20 hours long so that I could realistically finish them in a few streams, and not like huge open world games that take me 100 hours to complete, because then I'll just be, you know, spending time on that for the next year, and that's not the goal. The goal is to finish the games. Alright. So if you're into that, next Tuesday, Yelbu's backlog streams will commence. And also in general, I will say that eventually this channel will hopefully move on from Planet Zoo, in the sense that I have in me, after finishing Bolo Bolo, I have in me one final zoo. This looks terrible. One final zoo, and after that I might be done with Planet Zoo. Like, I don't think there's much more that I can add to my time here, if you catch my drift. I feel like I accomplished what I set out to do. I will eventually have built for every animal in the game. You know, I'm saying this, I'm not sure about it, but my goal for this channel either way was to be a platform for me to, you know, for my greatest passion, my biggest hobby really, Planet Zoo, but also other video games. And I have a couple of gaming videos out already, and more are on the way, but eventually, and perhaps that will be the death of my channel, perhaps not. That is something for me to find out. We'll have to see about that. I see tears in the chat for that. This is not going to happen very soon. At the rate that I'm building in Bolo Bolo, this is something that will still be months and months and months and months ahead of us. And if I start a new zoo, that's like a whole year of building. So don't worry, right? Planet Zoo will still be the focus. But I just want to do other stuff as well, if you feel me. Alright, this is a terrible look. This looks really bad, but at this point we're going to have to start thinking about what we add here. So I have some inspiration up. Yeah, I see like that. I have like a second zoo cooking that is going to be smaller, more focused, will not necessarily feature every animal that exists, but just like my favorite ones, and just a few biomes from all over the world in probably a temperate setting, and that is it. Then I will be done with it. So I'm just looking at some inspiration pictures for buildings, and I see a lot of the ancient ruins over there have like a very simple brick construction, and then on top of that, like the top is bigger than the bottom. I'm going to try and reconstruct that right over here. We're going to be building that out of these individual temple blocks, and make sure there's a gate. So let's toggle the South America pack once more. Go to construction, and then we're going to be grabbing these bricks. And then the coming minutes will, I could do it with this, but we're going to start by taking these individual bricks. What did they make it out of actually? What are these pieces? Let me just grab those. All right. So, should a guest wonder like this, we'll sort of have to orient it in a way that looks nice when you approach it. Oh, I'm forgetting about the door. That's true. First of all, let me add this corner because I like the look of it. And it just gives me something to build off of. And right over here, let's have a sort of a door structure. In fact, why not move that up a little bit and make sure it's here? Is that too big? All right, we'll use this one. And let's sort of lean it over like this. But yeah, just to what's the word? Quell your fears. That might have sounded a bit like doomsday talk for me, but I'm just talking about the very far future there. Oh no, I deleted it. This game is one of the most important games I've ever played. It's just that I feel like I don't have it in me to, after that next zoo I'm talking about, start yet another zoo. I don't know. I don't know if Yelbo is up for that. But I hope in my final zoo I'm going to exhibit all of the sort of the tricks of the trade that I've learned, all of the errors that are existing in Bolo Bolo as well. Bolo Bolo is, if you've been following along with it, a very flawed project in the sense that I did not really think very hard about the guest side of things, right? The guest experience. You have to do so much backtracking, so much walking in that place. It's kind of dumb a bit. So also in terms of sight lines and everything, I can do better. At this point I've learned enough to do better. Here I am being lazy. I just realized I'm sinking all of this stuff into the ground, and I have to consider if you can see it from here. Yes, you can. All right. Let's move this up. There we go. Do-dum, do-do-do-do-do-dum, do-dum, dum, dum. Dum, do-dum, dum, dum. Oh, sorry for getting a bit quiet there. I'm just focusing. I hope the music can also fill up the silence. I hope all of this is copyright free. I got some copyright strikes on my stream. No actual problem, but do have to consider, of course. But I think this music was fine last time I used it. So okay, we're gonna grab this trim. I have no idea if what I'm doing is like period accurate, but I feel like if we create sort of a lip, it's going to look kind of like what I'm going for. The bottom is sort of a foundation part of, and then you have this sort of bigger top that is more ornate. That's what I'm looking at here in my sort of inspiration tab. If you want to have an idea what I'm googling for, at Chichen Itza in Mexico, there is like a building called La Iglesia, the church, and that sort of looks like what I'm going for. Like it's smaller at the bottom and then gets more ornate, couple of layers at the top, and I'm going to try and build something like that. Probably poorly, but still, it's what I'm going to try and do. This looks very bad. We're going to have to take care of this. This is a bit of a mess. We'll cover all of that up with plants and rocks, and then make sure that it looks better at this moment. So ignore that for now. It won't exist in the future. I just noticed how crooked the building is, but you know, maybe that's realistic as well. Just had a weird interface bug, but we fixed it. Do. Truth be told, we need to pay a bit less attention to detail at the back end of this building, because who's going to see it? Who's going to know? And you may very well respond with, they're gonna know, but then you are actually right. They're going to know. So we'll actually complete this building the whole way around. Meaning, first of all, we need to put these bricks in. This whole building is on a slant. Again, pretty poor planning by me. It's what you've come to expect, perhaps. Like, it drives my I think I've said this before, but my girlfriend had a pretty promising start to playing this game, but then she sort of lost interest. She's a person with a lot of interests, keeps herself busy, but she was pretty talented at building like buildings. And she really took offense to me building everything off the grid and making everything look so asymmetrical, and I still do that, and I think she would just get upset once again, like, and I'll just apologize to her officially here in this stream. Sorry for frustrating you, but I've done it again. I've made a rectangular building completely asymmetrical. Okay, that's just the start. On top of here, we'll need to add a lot more trimming and stuff. And of course this end needs to be completed. All right. at this point, we're sort of good in terms of the sunlight. In case you've noticed it, the temple there at the back still is lit by sunlight. And I can still manipulate the sunlight like this. So yeah, the temple will still be lit, and I think that's great. All right. Now, if I look at my inspiration once again, like a thicker band, a smaller band, a thicker band. I think we still have a lot of, still have a ways to go, to be honest. But we are going to repeat this. And we're going to use the gold trim for this, just because. Alright, we'll need to adjust a little bit its angle, because, you know, Yelbu didn't think about the angle. But we're going to add this gold band around the whole building at this point. And then we're going to create a thicker band of ornate design. Then just angle it a bit better. You know, no ancient aliens were involved in building this. You can clearly tell. You know how they always say, like, this is too perfect. Humans couldn't have built this. When they found this ruin, they were like, yeah, I think humans built this. I think this one was made by humans. I don't think aliens would build something like this. Yeah, this is starting to look like something. I don't know what it's starting to look like, but it's something, all right. Whew. I got some new glasses. Yeah, landing pad for alien spaceships, or like just teleport gates. Stargates, anything. I've heard so much. And like there was a period in my life where I got really interested in like the ancient alien theories. Just because, well, ancient civilizations are really interesting, and a lot of them are very mysterious because we don't have a lot of information readily available. That is true, especially like even like the Aztec civilization, for example. We know actually quite a lot about them when compared to some civilizations where we just know they were around and we know they left some stuff behind, but we really don't know anything about their way of life or their culture, and we just give them a name that feels appropriate. So the ancient aliens theory is not that crazy of a trap to fall into, because it really explains. Of course it does, because that's why it exists. It explains things that otherwise will probably always be a mystery. That's why people do these things, is they want an answer, so they come up with an answer. Some things just don't have answers at this point, and that's something you need to be satisfied with. But it's not done yet. I'm going to add a more narrow thing and then add this on top once again. So it's going to be a fair bit higher than this. I'm also a bit bothered by, and I wonder if someone knows a way to do it. Like, even if I add a ceiling on top of this, the fact that you can just see through that door and see the other wall, I'm not a fan of that. I need to think of a way to... We're going to repeat this, crazy as it looks. And then add this in between. And now I have to consider whether I take this version of it or the golden one. It's angled horribly, we'll solve it, but do you think... Yeah, I mean, how did they build those things with the tools that were available? To me, like, what I always say to people who wonder, like, how is it possible that we did it? Well, the first premise that you have to have in your mind is, we did it. Like, that is evidence enough. We did it. It's not, did we do it, but how did we do it? And I know that's not what you were saying, but the proof that it's there and that we made it and that you can sort of tell how long ago we made it, that's proof. We did it. The next question is, well, how did we do it then? Clearly, people thousands of years ago were already very, very smart. They didn't live that long ago. And we have always been pretty smart creatures as humans. So we were pretty damn smart already. And one advantage we had is that a lot of those people living in that time, they didn't have a lot to worry about. Like, you know, besides sickness and war, their lives were simpler in a way. They didn't have, like, the crazy, busy life full of responsibilities. If there was a guy in charge of building pyramids, that was all he did. All day, pyramids, and then he went home and you know, he might even have had some slaves who would put out a warm bath for him. So the fact that they had time for it is also something that you need to think about. They had a lot of time. They were paid by some king or other to build a pyramid that faced the sun at the right time of year, and that's all they had to do. That's what they had time for. Nowadays, life is a bit busier, and a lot of people just don't have the time beyond their job really, to specialize in that kind of thing. I hope that made sense what I'm saying. Sometimes when I'm building in Planet Zoo and streaming at the same time, I'm sort of saying a lot of nonsense, but hope that made sense. And yeah, I hear you with the broken wooden door. Wonder if there's sort of a piece for that. If not, we'll see what we can do with some planks and stuff. This doesn't look as nice as it could. I feel like I've been actually yeah, there we go. I've been clicking it too often, placing the pieces. Do 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 do. Why have I been placing all of... Why are all those things angled this way? I'm confused. Did I do that somehow? Did I? I'm gonna have to rectify that. Also on this end. Feels like I had a bit of a building error there. Yeah, they also didn't have much choice. Sometimes they had to do it. It was like life or death back then. Yeah. Of course. Guys, I've lost a bit of faith in my own. Now that I'm looking at it like this, it's a bit weird, isn't it? I don't know. It's a bit weird. I don't know. I think the gold is too much, to be honest. I don't know. I think the thicker gold band is a bit too much. Oceania door. All right, I hear you. Let's try and look at what you are saying. Is there a pack specifically that I mean a door that came with the pack, or do you mean this window thingy? Well, the wood from the Oceania pack, though, you did put me on the right track. Where is it? O. Where's the O? There we go. It does have some really nice wood in general. There is the door. Why was it? Oh, I already had selected the door before. But what if we just take... bunch of this driftwood. Just experimenting. And then have it randomly rotated. Alright, let's give it like a color that really pops, right? I want it to be kind of blue, I think. And maybe these bands as well. Like, or maybe a... Nah. Maybe. Maybe if we put... Yeah, the door. You can change the color. But I'm feeling this. And I'm going to put this across here. Like it was barred perhaps later to prevent tourists from entering or something. I don't know. Maybe not. I'm not sure yet. We'll leave it like this for the time being. I'm actually not feeling this. I don't know what you guys think, but these ones, I think for now, I'm gonna make a save here. But that was a bit too much, that gold band here in the middle. Let's check out my yeah, I think we could. I think I'm going to work with those smaller pieces. Let's have South America selected again. Where is it? Perhaps something we could do is echo the blue we used back down there. Stop rotating, please. All right. And have this be blue. How do we feel about that? Or is that also going to be too much of a... Let's just do the simple thing and build it out of this. I also need to stop adding it to this wall because it is crooked as hell. Here, a good flat wall. There we go. That was a weird and lazy way to do it, but that's how we did it. Alright, now it begins the long and arduous process of building a wall out of these pieces. And not only is the process arduous, but I also have to take into account my really slanted, strange, weird building that I absolutely could have improved in that regard if that was the way I operated. But it simply isn't. It's not the way I operate. I build the building and I don't look back. That's just me. Let's put this here and then we'll flip those things later. Put it here as well and then we'll flip those two later. There you go. There you go. do. Now, will I consider actually using a piece from another pack? Like, I know the Asia pack has some cool wooden panels. Could I make those look South American? Could I take these awesome pieces from the BDBD tropical pack, like those carvings in wood, and use those? Does this have South American vibes at all, or am I now really pushing it? I wonder. There's also, what else am I thinking of in the Africa pack? You have, of course, these tiles. Like, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if those work. I haven't used these yet. What if we color them in the blue that we're working with here? Or, on the other hand, what if we just make them look like stone? That's way too bright. Yeah, it doesn't really match. It's not too bad, actually. I don't dislike it. Let's go for it, at least in those corner sections. Did I once again forget that the whole building is crooked? I think I did. Kind of works. It needs like a thing in the middle here, a little something something, right? It needs something in the middle. Can we recolor this to the same brown? The question, of course, is now: have I pushed it too far, and have I lost touch with the you know, the South American heritage of this building? I mean, I just might have. This is such a mess. The whole building is such an asymmetrical mess. Alright, what do we add in the middle here? I think we'll have to go back to South America for that. But oh my god, you guys, I still feel like the thing that gave me inspiration for finally getting started on the what am I saying, on the well, the jungle build that you're looking at, that park zoo creation thing, the lost city of Kalakmul, it is the things he built with the pieces I'm using are just absolutely ridiculous. And I don't have that in me. I simply don't. He built like entire snake statues and masks and huge structures with those pieces. And I just don't have it in me. Ways to get there. If you care enough for the living, save a little space for you and for me. Okay, we need some do some adjusting here, because this looks bad. Okay, and then we'll just have like a thick band here in the middle of rock. I think we'll just play it cool here in the center here. It's a bit weird. It's going to look... It will look a lot better if I have all of the surrounding and the details done. It's going to, you know, this will be green, more green, and it's going to look better eventually. Like this will have a temple entrance and stuff. It's not quite what I had in mind, and perhaps it's also way too big. But honestly, guys, I'm about to finish Tierra Encantada, and I'm just happy with that. You hear me? When I built the climbing structure of the Ocelot and I finish all of this, Tierra Encantada will be ready. I need to do, you know, some fine tuning. I still have given myself another like 10-14 days to do that, but I will have finished a Planet Zoo project, which strangely is the first time I will have ever done that. All of my previous Planet Zoo projects are unfinished, and this one, just because of its smaller scale, will be ready, will be done, will be finished, and I will make a video touring it and sort of commemorating the achievement that I put my mind to doing something in Planet Zoo and did it to completion, because yeah, pretty pleased with it. a roof on this temple. And now we have to ask ourselves the question, shall we put something else on top of this? And I think we won't, because it's already becoming a bit too large. It's a pretty crazy building. It does have some inspiration in a real-life counterpart. It's not that close, but I can definitely defend myself when someone is looking at it and say, like, this is based on a real thing. This is based on something. So we have that. I can say that. So don't shoot me. I think, guys, just for a tiny little bit, I'm going to grab myself a drink, because I've been talking a lot, and then I'll have to consider how much longer I'll stream, but I'm going to grab myself just a drink. So I'll see you in a bit. Alright, there we go. The drink has been taken, and now I think I'm going to... I'm actually gonna do something. I'm about to do something here. I know I was saying that this path needs some work. The zoo is very much intended for you to take this route, but this is a weird environment at the moment, right? You have these grassland trees morphing into the jungle, and we're gonna have to sort of do something about that. And I think I'm going to sort of try and hide it a little bit. And make the transition out of like these tropical rocks as well. Not those ones, but these. Sort of mix them. So that it sort of feels in a way like a transition grounded in geology at the very least. We might as well go ahead and create some sort of a boundary here. Starting here. Just to lay it out for ourselves. This is not going to look like this when we finish it, I'm quite sure, but just to give ourselves an idea that we need to sort of section off the rainforest environment from the more like colonial South America grasslands zone. I'll grab those, and then we'll grab a bit of those rocks and mix them with each other. So what kind of rock is this actually? The red desert rock. We're gonna grab way more of this planting. Start adding it right over here. then already start mixing in the tropical rocks here. It's already starting to look like it makes a bit more sense, I feel. Honestly, guys, if my microphone picks up a bit too much of me swallowing, I understand. Then I can mute my mic while drinking. I say that because personally, I'm a person who has a bit of like what's it called, misophonia, where a lot of sounds people make really trigger me. So if you say, Yelmu, please don't drink into your microphone, I will be much obliged, and I will halt my mic drinking. So let me know if that's actually an issue for you. Let us grab some good old arrow wood. Just to ground the transition even more. Grab some of that periwinkle that we've been using as actual ground cover. And there's another plant that comes to mind, the coastal pigface. Yeah, we want this path to look like a transition from sand to tropical. Yeah, I have learned I'm a bit of a neurotic person, if you haven't noticed. But when I was very young, my father, bless him, wonderful guy, obviously. I mean, not obviously, but in my case, he definitely is. But he is a bit of a loud eater. Ironically, my dad also, I think, is very sensitive to sounds and noises. But when he was eating, I would sort of like flinch and make faces, and that clearly didn't want to be there. And he took offense to that. And I understand, like your son looking at you like you're disgusting. That's not very nice. But I just couldn't help myself. He was a person who made a lot of noise while eating. That's just how it is. And then yeah. Like I would often joke, like he would even chew on soup. Like he made. Obviously, it's a me thing. People make sounds when they eat. I make sounds when I eat. That's just the gosh darn truth, as they say. But yeah, there's few things in life that can trigger me as much as eating sounds. To the point that if like a character in a movie is eating, I sort of assume like, this is a bad character. This is an evil person. Like, I hate sounds in movies when people are eating. I always sort of assume like we're supposed to think badly of those people because they're eating in a movie scene. Like, yeah, I have some issues with that. But actually, let's spruce this area up with some nice planting. Grab some of those mossy rocks. Make the ground look a bit better here. Grab some more of that flowery moss that I've sort of discovered is pretty nice. I never used this before, but I really see it's used now. I feel like this is an underrated piece nowadays. Same with this carpet moss thing. It's really doing a lot of hard work in this tropical part of the. Can we get some sunlight in here? Ah, we can't really. All right. Some good old ferns. I didn't think this stream would end up becoming another fern spamming session, but hey, here we are. When you're ever in doubt what to do in Planet Zoo and you have the right DLC, grab yourself some silver fern and start putting it wherever it feels right in your zoo, and it will feel so satisfying. It truly will. Oh, with the mouth open. Yeah, I hear you. That is the worst. Even the sight of someone doing that. Whew. And I'm really bad with it. I know I'm bad with it, and I definitely try not to, like, actually, you know, address people about it, or I sort of suffer in silence. But in restaurants, I will sit in ways where I don't have to face other people eating. Like, I will consciously place myself somewhere in a seat where I'll have to look at a wall or a window because I don't want to see people eating. That's just taking precautions because I don't want to ruin my evening or someone else's by complaining about that guy's eating with his mouth open. So I just, you know, prevent that from happening. But I remember I was on the, what's it called? Like the train from Brussels to London. Is it the Eurostar, I think? And those are trains with assigned seats, right? You can't choose your seat. It's like an airplane. Those are your seats for, and there was a father and his son, and right after we left, they just started unpacking a whole bunch of snacks. Like chips and sandwiches and everything, and candy, and even like the packages, the sound of the packages, and then them eating and talking very loudly. It was honestly kind of torture for a guy like me, just having to listen to you know, like a dad and a son having a good time doing absolutely nothing wrong. Let me reiterate, but for me, it was kind of my personal hell that I couldn't move seats or go somewhere else and had to listen to that. And at the time, I didn't have like earbuds or earphones or anything, so. Yeah, I'm feeling this. This needs some addressing. Like this section needs to be beautified for sure. It will, but sort of losing my mental faculties over here for how to deal with it. I like this wall of green though. That is pretty nice. That's a nice wall of green. It could use like one final palm tree. the crooked one. I mean, crooked is not the word I'm looking for. I think a slanted one is what I'm looking for. Is there a... There we go. This is the one. All right. Dear viewers, we have come to a point in my evening where it's 1 a.m., 1:20 a.m., and I feel my mental faculties sort of declining. I'm going to call it here. On other days, I will stream earlier in the evening. I will say I planned to stream at 11 p.m. because women's football is on and I'm really starting to love that sport. But I think I'm going to call it a day here. I might very well return for an unprompted stream later this week where I finish the Ocelot build off. Why is my Steam account being streamed right now? That's not... Has that been there the whole time? Have you been seeing my Steam over there? I hope you haven't. But anyway, I'm going to call it here. Yeah, it's also past midnight for you. So I think it's appropriate that I bid you and whoever else is watching a good night. And I hope you have a great day tomorrow. The Ocelot build will be ready this Sunday and you will see a video on the channel where footage from this stream and others is collected. And then the week after that, the Sunday after that, Tierra Encantada will be ready and will be probably toured by me one final time. So guys, this is it. The stream is over. I have had a blast building today. Thank you, Lisa, for your unwavering support tonight. And thank you so much. I really need to learn how to close the stream. I'm like, do you know those couples who are just starting a relationship who go like, I love you more, you hang up. That's me closing a stream. I don't know how to end it. But I'm glad you look forward to the end of Tierra Encantada. And once again, if anyone watches this stream later, thanks for choosing to watch my stream. And now I will officially push the button to stop streaming.